Most people butcher their website design and wonder why no one takes them seriously. If your website looks like it was made in 2005, you're leaving money on the table. I've built websites that actually convert. Sites that don't just make people sit there, but actually make them buy, subscribe, and trust the brand of the website that they're looking at. And today, I'm going to show you how to do the exact same thing using Squarespace. You've seen those sleek, high-end looking websites that look like they cost thousands to design? Yeah, those were probably made on Squarespace. So I highly encourage you as we're going through here to actually go in the description below, click on the link to Squarespace or go to digit.com/Squarespace and actually follow along in real time so that you can build a professional looking website in real time with me. And you can pause, rewind whenever you need to, and by the time you get to the end of the video, you'll have a great looking website. Today, I'm going to show you how you can pick the right template, customize it so that it doesn't look like a bloated mess, and actually make people take action on your site when they visit. Enough talk. It's time to build a great looking website using Squarespace. Let's jump into it. One of the nice things about Squarespace is that they do offer a try before you buy sort of deal. You get 14 days of free access to your website before you have to subscribe to a paid plan. Now, after that, you will have to pick one of their 4 paid plans, which I'm going to go through here in just a moment so that you can know what you actually have to pay for and what you can actually avoid so that you make sure that you're paying for the features that you actually want. So there's 4 different pricing options here. And as it says, beautiful websites free for 14 days. And the 4 are Commerce Advanced, Commerce Basic, Business, and Personal that all range in price. Commerce Advanced is going to be the most expensive. Commerce Basic is $50 a month. Business is $45 a month. Personal is $30, depending on your currency. Now, Personal is the basic one that most people start out with. It's their foundation plan that has access to customizable, best-in-class templates. And if you just need a basic website set up that looks nice, maybe you're not hosting a business on it, maybe you're just using it as a personal website, or even if you are hosting it as a business, but you're a very small business, this is going to be the one that you're going to want to go with. Although this one does say business, if you're not somebody who's going to be too interested in things like the analytics and diving into what the stats in your website are, then Personal is going to be the one for you. Just getting a website out there and having it hosted online is something you're looking for, then Personal is going to be the one that you're going to want to go with. Now, if you're not just looking to put a website out online just for the sake of having it, and you actually want to dive into some of the more advanced tools, the best bang for your buck is definitely going to be the business plan. That gives you access to the ability to actually build your website, get the templates, and get advanced website analytics. You can also send invoices for free, sell products and services, check out on your domain, and have advanced shipping with 0% transaction fee on invoices and a 3% transaction fee on online store transactions. So you do get access to e-commerce if you are dabbling in that a little bit, but you also just get access to the analytics that would make your website actually pop and give you some more data on how to actually make your website better. Now, if you're going to be going a step above that, like selling things online, then Commerce and Commerce Advanced are going to be the ones that you're going to want to go with. Now, the main difference in that $40 price range there is that on the Commerce Advanced plan, they both have 0% transaction fees, but Commerce Advanced actually allows you to sell subscriptions, which is going to be the biggest thing. So if you're not just trying to sell, let's say, a one-time product like you could on the Commerce Basic, but you actually want to sell a monthly recurring service to somebody, well, that can actually be done on the Commerce Advanced, but it can't be done on the Commerce Basic. On Commerce Advanced as well, you will have access to advanced discounting, which is going to be better for people who are trying to build bigger businesses with their website hosted on Squarespace. But for us, for the majority of people, you're really only going to need the business plan, which is $45 a month, and for that extra $15, you get access to all the advanced website analytics and the ability to sell products and services on your website directly. All right, with that out of the way now, I'm going to actually show you how you can set up your website, customize it to make it your own, and choose one of the many templates that they have to make it so your website looks immaculate right out the gate. The first thing you're going to want to set up is, well, what is your site actually about? One of the most important things I always say when it comes to building your website is, who is your website actually for? Who's going to be seeing your website? Is it going to be information about your business? Are you going to be selling products? This makes a huge difference in how Squarespace can actually tailor that experience to you. So let's say for the sake of this example that I'm somebody who sells photography prints online. I'm a photographer, I take pictures in public, and I want to sell them on my website. Well, let's say I'm on the business plan and I can have access to basic selling. Well, I could say, what is my site topic? Well, I'll say photography here, and if I hit the next button down at the bottom right, and it'll say, what do you want to do on your website? Well, I want to showcase my work and expertise, I want to sell products, I want to get appointments, and maybe sell services as well as offer a contact form. Let's see, is there anything else here? Publish a blog? Nope, I think that's pretty good. These are some of the things that'll be customized into your website. Depending on what you select here, it'll determine what Squarespace actually decides to include right out the gate without having any further customization from you. Once I hit that next button, it'll ask me how I would like to start building my website. Now, there's 2 different options here. Designer templates, choosing from a curated set of professionally designed website templates, or Blueprint AI, building a custom website guided by Squarespace Blueprint AI. For this, I'm just going to choose the Browse Templates, but if you click on Build with AI, you can enter many more details about what your business actually has to offer and get a much more in-depth, personalized view of what your website can actually look like for you. Now, don't worry if you're not sure which option to choose here. Designer Templates just means that you get the template and you have to customize it afterwards, whereas Blueprint AI kind of designs the template around your customization options. Either way, you're going to be left with a nice looking Squarespace website that you're still going to have to add some customization onto. So don't worry if you're not sure which one to choose. In my case, I'm just going to go with the Designer Template and pick a template that looks right for me. Okay, so here we've got our photography templates and we've got KO. And let me just go through and pick one that I like. I really like this one that says mycelium. It's very minimalistic, but I also want one that shows off my stuff. You know what? I'll go with this one down here because it also shows all my photos, but kind of has that minimalist design. So if I click on this one here, or if I want to heart it so I can save it for later, I'll click on this and we can see Minetta. Continue to customize styles, add features, and more when you start a trial. And now I can actually choose what my sample color presets are here so that I can see what the actual website would actually be. So these are all the colors, and I can see in that preview view here what that actually looks like if I change things around. Kind of like this lighter blue color, but yeah, this one. I'll go with this for now. The next main thing I'm going to show you in just a few minutes here is actually how to customize it fully to make it your own, customize the SEO options to make it better served in Google, and overall, just make a nice looking website. All right, so if I'm good to go here, I'll hit the Start with this design button, and it will begin setting everything up for you and your website. All right, and just like that, we are now on our homepage, and we can see everything we need to actually customize this website and make it our own. On the left side here, we can see the setup guide, as well as the website pages, styles, assets, product and services, content and memberships, scheduling, donations, invoicing, etc. A lot of the options that you're going to see on the left side here are entirely dependent on what options you actually picked when you were first setting up your website. But don't worry if you forgot to pick one that you needed, you can always add it later. Now, the first thing I always recommend people do right after they get to this homepage is actually determining, is the template that they picked the right one? Now, I know there might be a bit of decision fatigue here, but I always like to just familiarize myself with the template and see exactly what we've got. All of the images here, that would be of what I've done, and then a little bit of text about who I am, and very minimalist. I can always add more sections on here later, and then I can just click between the pages to see exactly what each page looks like. So this is definitely an About Us section. Scroll down, Work With Me. I can go to here, Contact, and actually just edit this directly in my browser. And I can say, okay, Content, and Show Pages. All these things are completely editable directly within Squarespace's interface. But I'm going to exit for now, and I'll navigate over to the Pages section on the left-hand side here, and we can see our actual pages. Now, this is where we start with the actual site structure. Now, of course, before you go and actually design it all, you need to know what pages you want to have. So let's say, for instance, here we have our work page, we have our about page, and contact. Well, what if I wanted to have a showcase page? Well, as you can see here, if I hit this plus button, we get all of the different page options that we can have set up for us by default, or have a complete blank page to customize ourselves. We have blank page, designer layout, scheduling, and then a whole bunch of different collections like blog, store, portfolio, events, videos, course, etc. Remember how we talked about earlier that if I was a photographer making this website, I also wanted to sell my prints? Well, I have the work section, the about section, the contact section, and now I need to add an actual store. So I can put the store button on here, and as you can see, we can see the different stores we can have. So we have Shop the Collection 1, our services. Let's say, for instance, that I wanted to sell prints. I could click on this one here, and what I could just simply do is rename my store 1 to My Photo Prints. And once I hit into this page here, you can see that everything is now completely customizable. I can adjust it. These products on the left-hand side here are obviously just the defaults, but I could change that. It makes it super easy for integrating e-commerce directly into my website using no coding at all. And that's really one of the benefits here. If I navigate back to here, I can see that all it takes for me to change things is just simply clicking on it. I could click on this and customize my logo and my site name, and we could rename it to Josh's Diget Site. And there we go. As you can see, that's the beauty of it. I can just click on what I want to customize and immediately customize it. And I can actually see that on both mobile and desktop. If I want to see it on mobile, all I have to do is navigate to the top right-hand corner here and just click on this little phone icon. And I can instantly see what my site looks like in a mobile device. I can then go and edit the design specifically for mobile so that I can actually make it my own. In my layout here, we've got my title, we've got my shopping cart, and we've got that there. And if I want to change how the hamburger menu looks or maybe change things around a little bit, we could say something like this. Yeah, just make it a little bit more of my own. Got my name here, And then we've got the little drop-down menu as well as a shopping cart. Another great thing to mention is that at any point throughout this process, if we wanted to change the colors on our website, all we would have to do is navigate to the top right-hand corner, hit Site Styles, and then we can go change it to our own satisfaction. We can see here our fonts, our colors, our buttons, our form, and everything else. So let's go to the fonts here. Let's say I wanted to make it less of like a, kind of thin looking font, and I want it to be a lot more full. Let's go with something like this. All right, but I could go a little bit more in depth here. Let's increase the base size so that the fonts are a little bit bigger, and go from the headings of Manrope and maybe adjust the text transform. Maybe I want everything to be in uppercase, make it a little bit bigger here, and then go back here and change just exactly how our paragraphs look as well. So let's say instead of Nanito Sans, we want to make it something like Able. Go and change our fonts, make the text of our website actually match what we want the text to look like. And there we go. We got some nice looking headings for our website. We also have the option of actually choosing the colors here from the presets like we did earlier, but with a whole bunch more, and actually choosing from an image or from a color directly. Now, let's say that I'm satisfied with these colors. We can go through here and adjust everything else. Back to site styles, as you can see, we can go through step by step customizing it to be exactly the way that we want it to look across buttons, headers, background colors, and more. The cool part is when it comes to adjusting things, it's very simple as just hitting this button that says Add Section and then choosing a section from the tons of templates we have here. We have things like events, testimonials, portfolios. Let's say, for example, that as someone who is selling something and I want to showcase my work, at the bottom here, I want to add a section that shows the clients that I've worked with. And so we can say in the testimonial section here, we can show, let's say, our partners. Hit this button here. And then what you're going to see is our partners is actually added here. Now, if I want to edit the background so that it matches the website a bit more, I can do that. Adjust if I want dividers or not, go to the background, and actually adjust my colors. So let's say we're going to make this a little bit darker. We can match it, make it our own. The nice part about Squarespace is that if there's anything that I actually want to edit, all I have to do is click on where I want to edit, hit the Edit Content button, and go and actually adjust it. So we have our elements here. We can enable or disable the title, enable or disable the button or items. The coolest thing about this is that it's so much more customizable than just what you see in the template. If I want to actually change the content here, I can click on this. And as we can see here, if I navigate to the content section, we can actually just change the photos we want around. But let's say I want to change this text here. Let's navigate to the design tab and I can actually rewrite yes to say who I've worked with. Okay, but let's say I actually want to use some AI technology to make it better. Let's go and hit this button here and actually choose the tone and make sure the text is what we want. Okay, and there is our new text generated by AI there. A little bit overkill. Unleashing potential, the power of everyday choices. That's very overkill for the site. But as you can see here, I have the ability to do that and make those adjustments as needed. And then I have the ability to just add sections, adjust them, and even move them around if I want to, making them completely customized. I can move these things either up or down. And if I want to, if I'm not happy with the section and I really don't need it in there, I can just click this button and remove the section altogether. At this point, you already know how to customize the site and make it your own. How can we make sure that it ranks well on Google? How can we make sure that there's a custom icon in the top header of our tab? Well, let me show you here. We're going to go and navigate just by hitting the save button here so that we actually save our changes back to that left side menu. I'm just going to hit exit here, and as you can see, it comes back, and we'll go back to home in the top left-hand corner. And what I actually want to go and do now is go to the bottom right corner here and actually hit settings. Now this is where you're going to see a lot more of the in-depth settings on how to edit your website beyond just what you can see in the editor. Now what we've got here is things like site languages, regional settings. We also have fav icon here. If you don't know what fav icon or favicon is, it's basically in the tab at the top of your web browser where the site name is. There's a little icon next to it that represents the site. That's what the fav icon is here. We can add things like social media, social sharing, so that, say, for example, I want to adjust the social logo and make my own. I can actually do that. Go back here. We can also see things like Pinterest save buttons, import and export content, blog preferences, promotion, crawlers. Now, if I actually want to see how it ranks in Google, I'm just going to have to navigate over to the left-hand side of the page here and actually go to the button that says marketing. Because marketing is going to make sure that our SEO appearance is spectacular. If you don't know, SEO actually stands for search engine optimization, and this is going to ensure that your website looks great and appears highly in Google if you set it up properly. Now, right now, we just have a very, very simple website. We don't have any of these things like metadata set up or alternate text, which are some of the things that Google looks for when it ranks how good a website actually is. And many people will design a great looking website, but they will forget these key details. And that makes it so that Google actually ranks other websites higher than theirs when just with a few simple changes, they could have prevented that. So right now, as we can see here, we've got the search appearance and we can see pages and whatnot. But if we go back to home here, we can see that this isn't very interesting for search engines. What we can actually do here is check our SEO checklist, the Google search keywords we have, and if we want to, hire an SEO expert. Now, for most of this, we can actually just, for most people, hit this button that says Improve with AI, and what it'll actually do is, assuming that you've got your website all set up and designed exactly how you want it, you can actually hit that button and have all the SEO done for you. That's right, you don't have to know how to set it all up. You can actually just go and get all of the SEO metadata automatically set up for you. So, as we can see here, learn about Sarah, a renowned food photographer and stylist with a culinary background, capturing the essence of food through exceptional visuals. That's a lot better than connect with site for inquiries and project discussion. Yuck, we don't want it. And then, if we want to, we can actually just go and pick them and choose the one we want. In the bottom right-hand corner here by hitting this button. We can also review our alt text here for these, and we're ready to go. We just, again, go to the bottom right-hand corner, and we can save those recommendations, and all of our metadata are going to be set up correctly, which will give us that little bit of an edge when it comes to appearing highly over other websites in Google. Next up here is how to actually connect a domain so that you can make your domain www.squarespace. Bunch of random characters and actually make it your own website domain. You can either hit this button here that says domain, which is where you can register and manage domain from Squarespace and other domain sellers, or connect it through Google Workspace. If I hit this domains button here, we can actually either use a domain you currently own or get a domain. And Squarespace will walk you through the entire process of actually selecting a domain for you and paying for it. As you can see here, I could find one that I like, saying joshsdigget.site or joshsdiggetsite.ca. And for $25 a year, I can have that domain automatically connected for me, and Squarespace handles all of that. Something that's also important here is that if you're going to be using the AI tools, I highly recommend going to this section under brand that says brand identity and actually providing a bit of information about your website or your business so that when AI is writing content for you on your website, it actually knows how it should be writing. What should its personality be like? What should the description of your website be so that it actually knows what information to pull from? It's a small detail, but it does make your website stand out and make it so that when you're generating content and designing it, it can be better than it was previously. All right, you've got your website set up. It's customized to be exactly the way that you want it to be, and everything is tweaked to your exact specifications, SEO-wise, design-wise, content-wise, and you're ready to make it live. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Squarespace is on a try before you buy model. So to actually make it live, you will have to upgrade to a paid plan. But if you're ready to do that, all you need to do is navigate to this section of settings called Site Availability, and you can set it to public. But to do so, you have to hit this button that says Upgrade to Publish, which will take you to upgrading to those plans that I talked about earlier. See? That's why I talked about it in the beginning, so that you were informed and not blindsided when Squarespace actually asked for payment before your website went live. All right, at this point, you've got a great looking website that is ready to go live. But if you weren't following along in real time, I highly encourage you again to go down in the description below, rewatch the video, follow along in real time, stop, make adjustments, and edit the website to be exactly the way that you want it to be. And with that being said, I can't wait to see what you create. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, my name is Josh Mountain, and I'll see you in the next one.